As I typically try to review a Rugrats game every year, I actually kinda struggled picking one for the year of our Lord 2024. I tried playing the Game Boy Advance game based on the first movie, but I won't lie, that one sucked. There's a bunch of PC CD-ROM games which just kinda looked boring, I won't lie. Totally Angelica was on the table, but
now that I have the new Cynthia Dream Mall fashion show playset, you can be as beautiful and graceful as me, Cynthia.
Plus, not gonna lie, viewers, grown-ass man playing a game where you get to dress up a little girl? Kinda weird. Royal Ransom seemed good enough, but that's the very last major Rugrats game that was ever produced, and I figure I should probably save that one till all of the others are done and reviewed. Thankfully, though, I didn't really have to choose because a new Rugrats game just came out. Rugrats Adventures in Gameland. Yeah, a totally new Rugrats game in the year of our Lord, 2024. Adventures in Gameland was developed by The Mix Games and Wall Ride while being published by Limited Run Games. I actually do remember seeing the Limited Run campaign for this one a while back, being that it showed a legit NES copy of the game, on top of a bunch of other crap too. Being that I didn't partake in that particular Limited Run Games campaign, I didn't get to play it until now, basically. Rugrats Adventures in Gameland is a platformer video game styled after the classic NES and SNES platformers of yore. At the start of the game, you'll create your file, pick the difficulty level, and then your preferred baby for starting play of a given level, or the whole game if you're playing on the hardest difficulty. Each baby actually does have differing stats, which helps them play slightly different from one another, with those stats being their jump power and their throw power as well. Tommy is your general all-arounder, Chucky can jump the highest but has the weakest throw power, Phil can lift blocks the fastest and toss them the farthest out of all the kids, and Lil has kind of an inverse Tommy stat, but she has this unique ability to glide after a jump because she's wearing a dressy. Each of the babies are pretty useful, and I'd say that each of them has one level that is perfectly suited to their particular skill set. You're also perfectly free to swap between each of them at your leisure if you find yourself in need of any of their respective skills. This also gives you effectively 4 life bars to beat a given level. On top of having 4 baby life bars at your disposal, you can pick up milk to restore any lost health. On top of that, you can also pick up a cookie, which not only restores your entire health bar, it gives you a whole nother life bar to play with. Cookies can also stack up to 4 times, giving you effectively 5 life bars on your preferred child. This game is pretty generous with the life, and I don't think it needed to be, though you cannot swap on hard, so choose wisely if you're choosing to challenge yourself. But none of these levels are so difficult that you just can't complete them with one particular kid if you want to just specialize in being a Tommy or a Chucky, of course. After your selection, you're dropped right into the first level, the Pickles living room, and this is the tutorial level for the game. You can jump, you can butt slam enemies to death. Hey, it's that weird cat thing that was always in the intro to the show, but never actually in the show proper. You learn that you can butt slam buttons to activate them too, and you learn the whole main objective of this particular game. Collect the Reptar coins. There are 4 in each level, and what do you do with those exactly? You insert them into the coin slot of the mysterious Reptar door, which is located in the TV. I mean, where else? You exit that particular TV, and Tommy's parents return home, ending the level. Wait, have I been alone this whole time? Really, that's not out of line for the parents of the show, truthfully. They were incredibly irresponsible. It's after this, for some reason, that we get the game's first cutscene, which are partially animated affairs with text dialogue. No voice acting since, well, I imagine if they wanted to be true to Rugrats, the voice acting budget for this game would have cost more than the entire game development budget. These cutscenes, though, are obviously something that's very reminiscent of classic NES titles. What's also reminiscent of the classic NES games is the ability to play the entire game with retro graphics. If you're ever tired of those modern HD ones, you can just switch to this one if you want a more authentic retro game experience. Honestly, both of these look very nice, so you're really not putting yourself at a disadvantage by picking either. It's really just preference. Anyway, plot-wise, Stu and Dee Dee leave the babies under Grandpa's watchful eyes while they prepare a barbecue for dinner. Lou falls asleep, of course, setting up the eventual adventure. Meanwhile, Angelica is bullying the babies into playing a game of business lady with her as the boss and them as the suborbiants. The babies ignore her, however, in favor of a commercial on TV. Hey, look, it's Susie Carmichael on TV here. I guess that while Phil and Lil's TV career didn't exactly pan out, hers is just starting starting and going strong. The commercial itself is for the Reptar video game, and it captivates the Rugrats with promises of playing as Reptar and collecting Reptar coins to unlock the mysterious door. Sounds familiar. In spite of their lack of money, but having Reptar coins somehow, the gang thinks that they can unlock this mysterious door and find the Bibio game. Angelica says that stupid babies can't play Bibio games. I have to disagree, Angelica. Kotaku journalists do it all the time. The babies tell her to kick rocks and that they'd definitely be better at the games than her, to which she only quips, "We'll see. Remember, I'm the boss."
I'm the boss.
Tommy then drops this line. Fuck yeah, that's what I've been waiting since the second I booted this game up. And you're dropped right into the game's level select. You are free to play the levels and adventures in Gameland in any order that you like, and each level preview shows off the end boss of a given level. There are 6 levels to conquer here in Adventures in Gameland. I hit up the kitchen first, where I climbed all the way up to the top shelves and leapt over Dee Dee, promptly entering the refrigerator. I go over some treadmills and I end up in an icy wonderland with massive ice cream sundae mountains in the background. Oh yeah, this is what I want in a Rugrats game. Normal babies, absolutely ridiculous over-the-top environments meant to match the imagination of those babies, just like the show. We got ice bridges, lava, flamethrowers, and giant gingerbread men. God yes, they understood what this game should be like. After looking at some of the coins, I found Tommy's screwdriver and I fought the boss. In this case, the dummy bears. For this one, I had to turn off the flames, pick up the icebox, and I huck them at those boring bear bastards. You won't be rotting my brain this time, assholes. I get the final coin of the level for beating the boss and I leave, but I'd like to note right here, if you miss any of the coins in a given level, you will have to go through the level again to find them, but the boss will be dead, so you won't have to repeat that fight. A nice feature, not gonna lie. After this, I went to bed. Honestly, that's pretty much my plan after any given day, really. Enter Dreamland, where the landscape is a nightmare of clowns, diapers, and horrible creatures. Moonjur being here, though, is pretty cool, I won't lie. I wish the rest of the family's fever dream forms appeared here in some capacity. I'm trying to remember if the flying lips were ever in Rugrats. This doll, too, like, it's stuff that's really familiar to me, but I can't nail down where in this show I've seen it, if at all. It might have been something different, I don't know. What is definitely from the show, though, is the Mr. Sippy Cup, who serves as Dreamland's final boss. By the way, the music that plays for the bosses in this game is a rockin' version of the original Rugrats theme, and it slaps. Honestly, all the music in this game goes super hard. Hats off to whoever did it. You did a fantastic job. I might be too big for Babas, but I also proved that Mr. Sippy Cup isn't too big for an ass whooping, and he drops like a bitch. The backyard, my next level, of course, is an area highlighted by massive trees, vine hopping, and clockwork spiders. Thorg is the final boss here, and his fight doubles down on the platforming and vine swinging on top of, clobbering Thorg with those clockwork spiders. I slap Thorg back to the American Revolution and head promptly to the sandbox, which I access by just digging down in a normal sandbox. Hey, look, it's Betty. No Howard, though, to be found. I ponder, since they retconned Betty to be a lesbian in the newer show, that if Howard is just kind of condemned to be depersoned forever. Man, that reboot sucked. Howard was pretty cool. Sandbox is an Egyptian-themed romp. Big fan of the Pharaoh Angelica callback from the Passover special. I know this review is basically me soying over the callbacks to the original show, but not gonna lie to you, viewer, I'm a bitch for nostalgia. It's hard to resist when you see it. The boss of Egypt is Angelica's unborn baby brother. You know, the one that ate her in that nightmare she had.
Well, now you're num-nums.
God, this show was fucked up. What the hell was that? You get him to butt smash you on a few levels, and he gets real big, probably to eat you like he did his sister. And so you feed him clockwork spiders instead, roughly doubling the amount an average human eats in 1 year. Lastly, we head up to Tommy's spooky-ass attic. Why the fuck is Chaz here screwing around? Barbecue is outside, homie. Oh, I guess he's just getting dishes for the eventual event, maybe? Or he's just pilfering stuff for his own gain. The attic is very heavy on platforming, killing Mr. Friend, and running in horror from the decapitated floating heads of Cynthia. As for the boss here, well, you're gonna have to be bopping your boppo around for a bit, and after that you can head to the final level. You insert all your coins, the door opens, and then you fall to your death. Being serious now, the final level of the game is an amalgamation of all the other levels you've gone through before, climaxing with a battle against, I mean, who else? Angelica. It's a pretty simple fight, since all you have to do is just stomp on the given Reptar's tail and then hop on its back and begin shooting fireballs, which can be cranked out literally as fast as you can mash that button. Also, big fan of the purple Reptar. Even though that particular Reptar really never held any relevance in the show outside the occasional cameo, it's cool to see. Honestly, it really feels like the devs of this game did their Rugrats research, and I gotta applaud that. They put in as many callbacks to the original show as possible. You defeat the final boss, and of course she cries and calls it no fair, which finally awakens Grandpa Lou from his deep slumber. The babies, though, ever so diplomatic, reassure Angelica that she played her role as the final boss really well, and that every game needed one. After all, she reluctantly accepts this take and ends up agreeing with them at the end. Grandpa Lou catches the babies and ends up putting them down for a nap while sending Angelica home with her mother before he slyly states that he could use a nap too. He does wink at the player after this though, so I'm gonna take this to mean that instead of napping, he's gonna watch Lonely Space Vixens instead. That's where the game ends. So what are my thoughts on Adventures in Gameland? Honestly, this is a pretty solid game. Rugrats Adventures in Gameland is a very pleasant little platformer. I think it nails being a tossback to classic NES platformers for sure. It plays well. I think both the HD and 8-bit graphics are both very charming, alongside it being a greatly imaginative title that matches how the original show usually was. The levels all provide a decent challenge, and while the game is just bursting with nostalgia if you're a fan of the original Rugrats. The music, completely fantastic too, I won't lie. The problem with this particular title though is that it's just really short. You can bust out Adventures in Gameland in about an hour. Typically I wouldn't harp on a game's length. I think the experience a game provides you is far more important than the length, but they're asking $25 for this. There are full-fledged 10-hour plus indie games out there for less than this. Hell, Conscript is only $20, not on sale. That's a bit too steep for a game this short. If you can grab it on a discount though, I'd say go for it. Truthfully, I got this game for free from Epic Games. Really the only useful thing that Epic is out there for. It's a good game overall though. Search for Reptar is still the GOAT though. This video must end now though. My name, as always friends, is HadesManticore, and this here channel is CityStateManticore. Thanks a ton for watching if you did. Be sure to drop a fat like, comment below on this game, or just the Rugrats in general, or you can call me a slur, I won't mind. Be sure to subscribe since, as always, there's more content to come. I'll see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.